Hello, welcome to another episode of Guns and Yellow Ribbons. I'm Fergus, I'm your host. We are back after about 3 weeks of a hiatus where there wasn't very much to talk about on football. We're joined by Scunny. How are we, mate?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you.
Good. Trev, in the dark?
Yeah, sorry, this is the best you'll get off of me tonight. Yeah, I'm all right, thanks, mate. Hello, everyone. All good.
Okay. I'm working in a joint. Anyway. Mem, how are we? Back again?
All good, Ferg. Yeah, good to be here. Thanks. Yeah, all good, mate.
Mr. Judges, who is anybody who's on video can see that he's just finished an audition for something to do with his YouTube channel, but I think it's more an adult channel than a normal channel. Lee, how are we?
Oh, very good. Thank you very much, Fergus. Thanks for having us back on. Thank you.
No problem.
Patrick Stewart's porn double.
You know what I mean, eh? I'll tell you what, Jimmy, now you look like, I'll tell you like, so.
And Potsy, how are you? Okay?
I'm good. Good to see you boys. Always a pleasure to be back on Guns and Yellow Ribbons. You're looking well, Ferg, as well, mate. I must admit, maybe a little bit of suntan like Lee Judges over there, who's always tanned.
I think it's a bit of pressure. Probably excessive amounts of these.
Yeah, mate. I prefer Budweiser to a suntan as well, mate. Don't worry.
Horrible.
Gingers can't go out in the sun, though, can they, Dan?
No, mate. I can't, mate. I am very light skinned. Thank you for pointing that out, Scunny.
You're all right, mate. It's the beard that give it away.
I know. Look at it.
Our answer to Ed Sheeran here down in the bottom left. So, right, lads, there's football coming back. Football is coming back. We have. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about possibly a bit touch on the Charlton game. Arsenal played Brentford behind closed doors in a friendly as well today. We'll look at a little bit around the German football and the experience that we've had over the last few weeks about German football, if you've watched it and so on. And then we'll look at what we're expecting about this game that we have this day next week. Squad and score predictions, league predictions, and a few other bits and pieces that we're going to talk about as well. So there's a question that I will put to you all guys as well at the end. And you can think about it now, actually. If Arteta was to sell 4 players, who would you sell and why? So while we're talking, just think of that.
No need to think about this one.
I know who you're going for, Mike. Mustafi.
That's one.
Mustafi.
That's one.
So this break that we've had, does it give us is it like a pre-season for us? Does it give Arteta, because Arteta came in just after Christmas in January, I think it was. And you could see that, okay, we're unbeaten in 2020. We all joke a little bit about that. But it's still a feat considering the shambles we were in beforehand. Obviously, Freddie took over 106 seconds on a ginger jack. Well, that was especially for you, Andy Fink.
Especially for Andy.
I'm here all night.
Is this like a pre-season that we've had in this close period? Do you think he will have had much of an impact on what they're doing and what you've seen in training? Fred, do you want to go with that one first?
Yeah, I don't mind. Yeah, well, I'm hoping so, Fergus. I'm hoping so because we were seeing a bit of an improvement. I think most people were happy with Arteta, and he's now had a few weeks to get a bit more of his ways across and seeing and get them working how he wants them working. So yeah, I'm expecting us to come out of the blocks flying. I am. Big game to start, just more than a game of football, isn't it? You know, there's lots behind the scenes linked in with this game, so it's a cracking game to start with. Yeah, I think he would have spent a lot of time drumming into the players exactly what he expects, and he'll also now have a much better idea. He's accepting what he wants, and who he's going to have to move on if they don't come out with his way of thinking. And he hasn't had to waste games doing it. He'll have been clever, I hope, and we'll come out flying. Fingers crossed.
Dan, your thoughts on it? What you think?
I've been impressed with Arteta from day one in terms of what he said in the press conferences. But I think when you look and hear what he's doing on the training ground now, one thing that stuck in my mind was what he's looking at with some of these youngsters. And I think he knows deep down, and as much as he doesn't want to ruin the confidence of some of the senior players, I have the faith that he knows that they're not good enough. Now, I know that he is going to play some of them throughout this season. I know he's going to stick with them because he kind of feels that he has to with the squad, or the kind of little squad that we got if he did get rid of them. But I think what he's been doing with Saka, Martinelli, Nelson, looks to me like he's actually getting hold of them boys and seeing what they're about. And one example I can give of that is what he's done with Martinelli. And the kind of rumour I'd heard was he grabbed hold of Martinelli and he had a chat with him about the Olympiacos game. And he'd said to him at 18 years old, he's grabbed hold of him and said, look, what did you do at that Olympiacos game where we got knocked out? How did it make you feel? And what do you think you can do to improve it? And that to me speaks volumes, because you've got the lad there. There's no point of him grabbing hold of Socrates or Luiz or Mustafi and saying that. You know, they're in their late 30s. They're not coachable anymore. But he's getting hold of these youngsters and he's getting a feel for what they feel it needs to play for Arsenal. And with the likes of Saka, Martinelli, Pepe, Nelson, they're all still young boys. They're our future. They're the ones I want to see Arteta work with. I don't want to see him grabbing hold of David Luiz and Mustafi together and seeing how they can play as a pair at the back. We've seen that. It was a disaster. Let's move forward with these youngsters. And that's what I think Arteta's all going to be about. So I've got some faith in the man. I'm going to try and keep positive.
Mem, I know we speak more or less on a daily basis. We're good mates, and I know you're a huge fan. So I'll let you have a say on what you think the impact of this break, more than anything else, will have given Arteta.
I think it's hard to say. It's difficult to say what, because it's never been done before. It's not like a pre-season in the sense that you've got new players coming in to the club that does give the place a lift. Having said that, I love what Dan's saying about the guy regarding the younger lads. 100% that's the way forward. And I've said to you, Fergus, on countless occasions, I just think Mikel Arteta gets our club. And 100% certain the way forward is with these young lads. Keeping them and adding to them is naturally going to be the trick moving forward. But I'm massively impressed with what he's done so far, the way he carries himself. I think he's here for the long term, and I think it's very much a case of his way, or unfortunately, you need to look for an alternative fella. Really looking forward to the start. I'm hoping and praying that we're going to make the fast start that we all think that the man's about. And if we come away with any sort of result next week, and with a performance, I think that'll just set the tone for the remainder of the season.
Lee, we've got players who are now going to be technically out of contract at the end of this month. There's David Luiz, who's people are talking about, is he staying, is he going? Where do you see that sort of things? And with Arteta, does that make it difficult, like doing an inter-season, I'll call it, when you've got players who, you look at Ryan Fraser even at Bournemouth has refused to play and sign an extended contract for 1 month. How do you think that impacts what Arteta will be trying to be doing at this point in time?
Well, it's really difficult to say. It's an unbelievable situation that we're in. What's going to happen, but. I'm just, it don't matter what Arteta does. You know what I mean? I'm going to have to say it's very negative and all that. It doesn't matter what he does. He's working with some absolute trosh at the back. You know what I mean? And that's as simple as that. Don't matter what. You can't work miracles. The bloke cannot work miracles. As simple as that. 3 goals conceded against the Championship side today. You can't be doing that. You're going up to Man City in less than a week's time. And you can't defend against Championship teams, even though it's friendlies. You know what I mean? I watched the game against Charlton. We won 6-0. We could have been 3-0 down. You know what I mean? If the Charlton players would have took their chances. We cannot continue to carry on the way we are. And I'm with you guys with Arteta. I think he's going to be a good manager, but he's got to get some players in. But more importantly, he's got to get some players out. And how he's going to do that, I don't know. That is the question. I'm really looking at this. I'm hoping that Mustafi, Xhaka, Tierney, Bellerin, they all play well in this little window. A window of opportunity to get rid of the whole lot. You know what I mean? And that is from every single one of them. I don't want any of that back four anywhere near the team next season for me to get any confidence with. That's from Tierney, from Bellerin, Mustafi, Socrates, Luiz. You know, it'd be fantastic if David Luiz comes out and says he don't want to play for a contract now. You know, jump on that one and get him out of the club straight away. Like, you know, save ourselves some money. You know, that's how I feel about it. You know, and for the other thing of other players deciding to not play like Fraser as the guy from Charlton, isn't there? Like, you know, you can't blame them. You know, what happens if they get an injury? You know, like a cruciate ligament or something. Who's gonna pay them? You know, they've got to think of themselves now. I haven't got no problem them deciding to go. One, the club should have sorted their contracts out, so they shouldn't be left in this position. You know, and barring Aaron Ramsey, he's the only one that I know that's gone into the last year of their contract that's done really, really well. And that's not just Arsenal players. That's the whole board. So one player that I'm thinking that's done that. So I think it's a tough call for managers to get players going on that, like, you know. So that's how I see it anyway, like, you know.
Mike, it was touched on today about Brentford. We lost 3-2 to Brentford in pre-season, behind closed doors friendly. We were actually 1-0 up until Xhaka went off the pitch. I know you're a big fan of Xhaka. Is he a pivotal player in this Arteta side?
No. Is he a pivotal player anyway? No. The guy's a joke. I've said it many a times. He's a joke. You know, it's he shouldn't even be wearing an Arsenal shirt after his little flap. You know, when he lost the captain's armband, so he shouldn't even be in an Arsenal shirt, in my opinion. And he's going to be, well, apart from Mustafi, he would be the one that he's another one that I would get rid of. It's just because of the simple fact he is venomous to the club with his attitude and everything that comes with him. It's just venomous, and what he does behind the closed doors that we don't see as fans. Surely, you know, it can't be any good for the club in the background. So I just don't understand why he's even still here. Even after we should have just got rid of him last summer, or even in the winter break.
Yeah, to be honest, I think they desperately tried to, but he wanted to go to Hertha Berlin, but we couldn't agree a fee. But he has improved.
Take a loss. You've got to understand these players aren't going to go for what we pay for them. You know, we've overpaid for these players. So we've got to understand that we've got to take a loss on these players because they're not playing well. Who's going to pay 35 million for Xhaka? Who's going to pay 35 million for Mustafi? No one. No one in their right mind is going to do that.
But even if they were going to get close to that, Mike, the issue you've got is wages. The wages they're getting at Arsenal are fantastic, and the wages they're going to get elsewhere are not going to be.
This is why they're stuck.
Well, yeah.
This is why they're stuck at this club.
Yeah.
You need to factor in the change of the economic change of the climate as well for lads regarding transfers and contracts as well. So in terms of what money we get in for them, yeah, it's going to be less, but they need to be out of the club. Yeah, they just need to be gone.
These players are on unbelievable wages for their ability and their talent. You look at somebody like Kolasinac, who is on 125 grand a week. Xhaka's on over 100. Mustafi's on 90. El Neni, we can't get rid of the dude. We can't get rid of the dude. We can't get rid of Mkhitaryan still. He's on 180 grand a week. Nobody is going to pay that for these bang average players. I spoke to my friend yesterday and said, West Ham, who were fighting for relegation, look at these players we're trying to sell. How many of them would West Ham want? Kolasinac? No, they've got Cresswell. Mustafi? No, they've got Diop. El Neni? No, they've got Noble. Xhaka? No, they've got Rice. And Ozil? No, they've got Felipe Anderson. So we can't even sell them to West Ham, who are 18th. How are we going to get rid of these players? We're stuck with them, boys, till 2021. Trust me, I cannot wait until 2021 where we say bye to these absolute clowns. And we'll come up to the ones we want to get rid of at the end, Ferg, but had to get that in there, man.
No, trying to get a little bit more positive, last week.
Yeah, Lee, cheers for that. Set the tone.
Trying to get a little bit more positive. Tierney got a run out, and I know in the comments there's a lot of people saying you're very harsh on Tierney, Lee. But
we haven't seen the boy play. We haven't really seen the guy play yet.
He's going to be very. He's very, very good at Celtic. He was in the past. I know that Andy is saying that he's too injury prone. Is that the reason why you were as harsh on him, Lee?
No, I'm not. Listen, Mems is right. Tierney's not played that much, but my philosophy is that he's diseased by the bad defending of around him. Like, so you've got to get rid. You know what I mean? Like that's how I feel. They've got to get out the whole lot. It's just they're not. He would have been influenced by some of these players. He's touched them. He's you know what I mean? Like just I don't know. Like Tierney, leave him out of it because he's he has been injured. But it's either look, listen. He is a perfect profile of Arsenal Football Club and the way we've gone lately. They buy crap defenders or defenders that can't stay fit. He falls into that category at this moment in time of not staying fit. You know what I mean? Give it time, and he'll fall into the other category of playing and being a bad defender. You know what I mean? Like what I've seen of him, he hasn't done too bad. I'm going to be really honest with you. He hasn't lit up trees or whatever, pull up trees, whatever they say. Like I don't think he's been been as outstanding as what I thought he was going to be. But I'm prepared to give him a chance. Yeah. But I've seen of the rest. I've seen Bellerin. I've seen too much of him, mate. Like, you know what I mean? I've seen Mustafi. You know what I mean? Today, I understand that Tierney played today against Brentford. You know what I mean? And conceded 3 goals. You know, I'm not saying that's all down to him, but like, you know, I want to see defenders. I want to see proper defenders playing for our football club. And at the moment, let's hope that he is. But so I'll take it back a little bit about him, but he's one that we can get good money for as well, you know. And so I'm just at the thing now of rip it up and start again. It was a good song that was, by the way. What I'll say.
Now I'm going to say, in fairness to Tierney, he did come to us off the back of an operation,
an injury.
So
yes.
Really. Well, no, he wasn't down to an injury. It's down to an operation that he had himself, wasn't it? It wasn't actual an injury.
Yeah, he came in when he worked.
And then he got that, and then he got that shoulder injury, didn't he? Which was, in fairness, was a bad injury. So, you know, we haven't really. I ain't going to slate him at the minute because he hasn't really played. And obviously, I've pulled my shoulder similar to how he did it, and it hurts. So I know how I felt on there, and it must, you know. So you can't really. But then again, Brentford.
He's better than he's better than the left hand.
I think.
I think better than the left hand. Better than the left hand throw-in taker we've got from Bosnia. He's much better than him.
Okay.
That way.
Is he better than Saka that's been playing there? Everybody's saying they're going to leave out Saka for him. You know what I mean? Where are you going to play Saka? Saka's got to play in his team somewhere along the line.
I think what you do with Tierney is you pair Tierney in left back and you play Saka in front of him, and that allows you to push Aubameyang into the centre a bit more. So that's where I would do rather than playing Aubameyang on any of the wings. Listen, try to get it positive, Lee. The 6-0 win against Charlton in the week. Yes, it's Charlton, the league, whatever they are. They missed out on. A few chances, but Eddie had a hat trick. Should Eddie be playing? Trev, can you come in on this one? Should Eddie be starting ahead of Lacazette?
Well, I'm just waiting for my missus to come back. I've just shouted for her to get me a couple of Valium because these boys have just about done me. I need some antidepressants. But look, we all know what we've got, right? We all know what we've got, and we all know that they're not in the best position. But I don't blame the players. I blame the people that brought them into the club. But we've got to move on and look a bit brighter. What was the question, Fergus? I've woke up now.
Eddie, should it be? Eddie's got a hat trick against Charlton. Yes, it's Charlton and so on, but he's also, I believe, he was involved in a goal today. I don't know if he's actually scored, but should he be getting a start over Lacazette?
Well, before the lockdown, he was getting a start, wasn't he? He came in for a game or two. And Eddie seems, the last I saw of him just before the season ended prematurely, he looked to have he'd gone from boy to man, I think, from a physical appearance. It looked like he was carrying a lot more shoulder on him. So, yeah, he's got to be about a club. It's a nice position to be in with Alba, Lacazette, and Eddie. And I'm not going to say he should start in front of Lacazette. I'm not going to say he should start in front of Alba, but he'll be there or thereabouts. He'll be getting. Let's put it this way: if he don't get a lot of game time, I'll be surprised. As for the Tierney thing, I can't see how we can judge Tierney, but I think Tierney's got to come in and Saka's got to go up the field a bit. You've got to get Saka into the side. I watched the game. I watched the playback of a game the other night when we beat Everton. Was it 4-3 or whatever at Highbury at the Emirates earlier in the season? And Saka was playing at the back end, and he was found out a lot. So let's move him up the field and let's get a proper left back in. Don't under any circumstances drop him and see where we go. But as for Eddie, yeah, he'll get more game time. He ain't going to start every game, but he'll get more game time, undoubtedly. And if he scores goals, then he'll be in the side, won't he?
Football, it's back, but it's behind closed doors. We've seen it in Germany. What's people's thoughts of football behind closed doors? Are you happy, first of all, that football... Andy's asked a question about liking Trev's North Bank T-shirt. Well, if you listen to Gav from She War, he was on a Guna to Guna with me a couple of weeks back. If you go on to shewar.com, Gav is knocking these out like, I don't know. I popped around and collected a couple off him the other day, and he's just mobbed. He's surrounded in just T-shirts. But do we like... Are we happy that football is back? Dan, I know you've been very vocal on our WhatsApp group before a decision was even made. Are you now happy that football is back?
I'm happy they've made a decision because we can all get on with it now. What I wasn't happy about was, are they going to bring it back? Are they not? Are they going to cancel it? Are they not? I personally have tapped out for the rest of this season. For me, it's all the pre-season now. I know people are saying it's important that we try and get fourth, but if you think we're going to get fourth, then I think you're dreaming. But Lee told me I was too negative when I said that on Monday night, so we're going to get fourth and win the cup, apparently. But listen, football is back, and I'm glad it's back because we can actually watch it. But when it comes to the Germany thing, I personally was not a fan of that. I listened to the game for a few minutes and then didn't actually know. I personally wouldn't watch an England under-19 friendly without fans, so I didn't see the point of tuning into that one. I watch Arsenal. I'm not too sure I'll watch many of the other games. I'll watch Arsenal for 90 minutes and we'll go from there. But football without fans is not football for me, and I stand by that. And when I can go back to the Emirates or away games, I'll be a happy man. Until then, it's pre-season for me.
Anybody any different about...
well said, Dan. Well said, son.
Anybody any different about that?
Fergus, you're going to get two different opinions here, right? I'm with Dan all the way. You're going to get the views of people that go to watch the football every week, and you're going to get the views of the people that watch it on the telly most of the time are going to be different, because the people that watch it on the telly most of the time, their fix is back. Their fix is back next week. They're back on the telly. Me, I like going to watch a game of football, and I'm much like Dan. I'll watch the Arsenal on the telly. I won't watch any other football. It ain't the same for me without the fans. The football is about the fans. I like going games, and it's not the same. So, yeah, I'm with Dan all the way there. But as I say, there are people that watch it on the telly all the time. With the greatest respect, they don't go to the games. So it's going to be no different. They've got their games back, haven't they? The football's back.
Watching it on the telly, I watched some of the German football on the telly, the early stuff, and it's like watching football in a swimming pool, just the noise and the aesthetics of it. And it makes it very a difficult watch. It's just like...
I've not heard that one before. That's great.
Well, our first game's at the Etihad, so can it, even if you're an away fan, it's still empty.
I don't know if anybody watched the Bayern Munich versus whoever it was last weekend. They plumbed in I pumped in some crowd noise so you could hear the chants. They also done like a mural, sort of like a bit like the North Bank mural on the seats opposite the camera, and it made the experience of watching football, although still fake, a bit better. I switched from BT1 to BT2. BT2 had just like the echoey noise, and BT1 had the crowd noise. Did any of you guys watch it, or am I wasting my time?
Is that a little bit like the mural behind the North Bank back in the day?
Yeah, similar. Did any of you guys watch it?
I listened to it. I was eating my dinner and I listened to the Dortmund game, and I thought, it sounds like a game of football's going on. But when you look up and you see the goalkeeper walking to the ball, but the crowd are going mental, you're thinking this is a bit strange. But maybe it's
just
gonna.
scored.
Yeah, I did. I looked up and I thought, oh, someone's nearly had a chance there, and it weren't. It's the keeper getting the ball back because it's gone wide, and I'm thinking, what's happening here? It's just a bit odd, but I can see what they're trying to do. I can, but it's not for me. It's not for me.
I think it changes everything. It won't be the same game without the fans. You don't get the 12th man element. They don't without the fans. They bring the noise, the atmosphere, the excitement, the anxiety, all of it, and you can hear it like the players having a go at each other, the coaches, the linesmen, the ref. Yeah, it changes everything.
The thing is, for me, is that the German football never interested me before. So it's not going to interest me now.
I was waiting for him.
Brilliant. I knew he'd say that. He said that to me. I knew he was going to say this. No, it's just I knew you were going to say it, mate. You said it to me the other day. I was waiting for it. I don't care about
I don't. You know what I mean? But I'm going to care about the games that are played in England. I cared about them before, and I care about them now. I will tune in. Hopefully, see Manchester United beat Spurs. I'm not going to lie. One thing I am interested. I don't know how you guys feel about that. Is what's going to happen when we come out? They're going to play the music that we normally have because that's sort of there to get pump the fans up, isn't it? Like the Liverpool song.
Play the videos play the video on the screen that we always play before kickoff. They're
going to walk out and it's just going to be quiet. They're the interesting things, Fergus. These things like.
Yeah, we'll be interested. I would have thought they will still do the pre-match ritual that you would have expected, like as you say, the London's calling, and the dong and getting the crowd out of the bar, basically, isn't it? Generally, Lee.
Yeah, it's this. Are they going to play those things? It'd be interesting,
Yeah,
get them out the bar with half pints.
Yeah, half pints. They only serve half pints in corporate, so they don't do pints.
That is not true.
Cardboard cutouts. Nah, not interested. Do one.
So let's get on to the main topic, which is the Man City game itself. So Man City, have they missed Arteta? Because their form hasn't been great since Arteta left and joined as our head coach. Is Pep struggling with the team? What influence did Arteta have over that team? And do you think he will have almost like an inside knowledge to help him, possibly combat what Pep is going to do? He knows all his tactics. He knows all their tactics. There is no home advantage anymore because of this 12th man that we talked about. Mike, do you want to have a comment on that? What do you reckon about Arteta and Pep? He's clicking buttons.
I was clicking buttons. I missed half that question. Move on.
Yeah, you come in with that one then.
I don't think they've missed him. They've got quality from top to bottom in everywhere you're looking at throughout their club. They are kind of like what we were sort of 10, maybe 15 years ago. But I don't think they've been at it since minute one this season. I think it's difficult as a club when you've won it 1 year and then won all those trophies last year and the year before to just keep on going and sustaining it year on, year out and having things go your way. Because by rights, Liverpool could and should have won it last season, yeah? I don't think they've missed him, mate. I think Guardiola is, amongst the very top of coaches. But I'm looking forward to the game because for all the elements that you mentioned, no fans, I don't think they've really got much to play for outside of the Champions League, and who knows what's going on with that. We, on the other end, I think we've got I think we've got a really hungry manager, and I'm hoping that we're going to see some form of a performance next week.
Trev, thoughts?
Got to disagree with Mem. 100% disagree with Mem. Man City have fallen apart without Arteta while there's been a shutdown. Pep's lost the dressing room. Everybody wants to leave City, right? They're not going to play for him. Arteta was the bones behind the setup, and we're going to win 4-0 next Wednesday at City. Take my word.
Love Trev. Love Trev.
I think
The enthusiasm just radiates, doesn't it? It's really.
I think
You got look, you boys. I've got to put some positivity into this somewhere tonight, boys.
I've just
We are
said
gonna
I'm
get
looking
something
forward
out
to
of the
it.
game at City next
I've just
week.
said I'm looking
Thanks,
forward to it.
We'll get something out of the game at City next week, right? We're going to get at least a point, and we're going to come away smiling. Xhaka's going to be man of the match, and Mustafi's going to play his nuts off, and we're going to win. Or look on the bright side. All them Man City players will be leaving now. At the end of it. They've got nothing to play for. So
I'll send Mrs. Valium. I think she's got it to you. I honestly think that.
Love you, Trev, man. Love your attitude, mate. Love it.
I think that I'll tell you from Man City. I do. I agree that I don't think their results have been quite as good. Sometimes behind the scenes, which you don't understand. Like training is very, we've got to enjoy your training, enjoy with what you're doing, and if he was taking sessions as well, they've been bouncing off each other. Maybe that little connection is not there now. He's bouncing off the new coach, so I do believe that. And also a good point I've just thought of is that they've got this appeal going on at the moment. Like if that goes against them, it wouldn't be a bad time to be playing them, would it? You know what I mean? Like, because if they do say, like, yeah, they've got like a 2-year ban, the players would be a little bit disappointed. A few of them would be, instead of like going concentrating on team talks, they'd be going to their agents saying, get me out of here, I need Champions League football.
Well, the decision on that not going to come out until after the season's over. The Court of Arbitration will have heard their defence by that and their appeal by that stage, but it'll be some months before the season starts next season.
Really?
It's going to be.
Forget I said that. I thought they've listened to it today, and it's all finished now, isn't it? That's what I heard.
Yeah, the listening to their appeal was meant to take 2 or 3 days, which is, as you say, is past. But then they'll go away and they'll deliberate. I'm sure they'll make a decision before then, but nothing will be announced until the season is over. So if they really want to fix Man City back into the Champions League, or they want to get a team into the Champions League, I'm sure they'll fiddle it somewhere or another. Not that UEFA are corrupt at all. My thoughts were Pep stays for three or 4 seasons. His main target, he's won the league a few times. His main target was to win the Champions League last year, and he didn't win the Champions League last year. And you could see, one of you guys said they weren't even at it from the get-go. You could see that the focus was, if we get the league, fine, that's great. But the main focus has been the Champions League this season. Dan, thoughts?
Yeah, I think you're right. They were going to go for that Champions League. And do you know what? I fancied them for it now that Liverpool were knocked out. I think that they were going to beat Real Madrid. They were looking in a very healthy position to go through against them. And I think they were all going to put all their eggs in one basket. But now we don't know what's happening with that. They're going to concentrate on trying to win games. Listen, everyone talks about Arteta being up for this game. Pep Guardiola is going to be up for it as well. He is not going to want to lose against Mikel Arteta. Let me tell you that. Pep Guardiola is not going to be interested in trying to allow Mikel Arteta to beat him for the first time. So I think for me personally, it's going to definitely be a football lottery for all the games when they come back. We really don't know. Form goes out the window completely, doesn't it? Man City and Arsenal have had very different seasons, but probably for Manchester City, they've probably had quite a disappointing season in the league as well for their kind of calibre. So I think both of us will probably want to be trying to get to winning ways as quickly as possible. I think it's going to be interesting to see how we both set up and line up. I think that but it'll be quite hard for Pep Guardiola to see where Arteta's going to go. But it'll be easier for Arteta to see where Pep Guardiola is going to go because he knows everything about the club. So we've definitely got an advantage in that respect. I'm with Lee. I don't think our defence is strong enough, so expect some goals to go against us. But I'm hoping that we can get some goals for us as well. And I'm confident with one thing about Arsenal, our forward line. If you line all of our players up, we've got some great attacking players going forward in the youngsters like Saka and Martinelli, Aubameyang, Lacazette scoring in two games today and the other day against Charlton. And obviously, if we can get Pepe shining, then let's hope we're going to be okay going forward.
We haven't won away to Man City, excluding the FA Cup in the league, since January 2015. So it's over 5 years since we beat them, and that was when we beat them 2-0. Santi Cazorla scored and Giroud scored. And the last time we actually beat them was December 2015. And that was in the league. That was at the Emirates. Obviously, we beat them in the semi-final of the FA Cup. We went on to beat Chelsea in the FA Cup and had the most amazing day ever when I went to Wembley thinking we'd come home with nothing and we came home with the cup. Do you think we'll come out of the blocks quickly, Mike? Do you think we should come out of the blocks quickly, or do you think we should sit back and absorb what City can chuck at us and see if we can nick something on the break?
Oh no, I think it's going to be really stale, to be honest with you. With it being the first out of 2 games being played, I don't think it's going to be all guns blazing at all.
Okay.
For either team, I think it's going to be quite probably cautious for both teams. If they do come out all guns blazing, I think we should definitely, because we've got nothing at the back, as we've all said. So we need to get a couple of goals in straight away because their back line isn't exactly brilliant as well as ours. I think the only thing they've got going for him is, I don't know if Laporte is, I don't know if is he injury free now or is he still, no one knows.
Don't know.
Well, if he's back, I think we
he is fit. He is fit. Yeah, he is fit.
There you go. Then he was their rock, and they have missed him at the start of the season.
Yes, they did, and that's when
I think people also, like we were saying about Man City earlier with Pep and Man City, you got to think a lot of their squad is actually aging. You know, they're what we were at that point in time. You know, moving towards the Emirates and everything else, and we had aging players at the time, so we was bringing in youth. You see, this is at the point where they are now. If you look at some of their key players, a lot of them are aging, like David Silva. He's probably got 1 season left in him. Aguero's not got too long left in him, and then you've got people like Fernandinho. It's a lot of their key players are getting to the point where they're getting to the point. You know, I mean, they'll probably want to slow down a bit. So it's going to be a tough game, I think. Regardless, it's either going to be tough or boring.
And what side do you reckon we should put out? Would we go 4-3?
Our strongest side.
Thanks. Check us a bone.
But Fergus, that's an interesting point you made there. Firstly, I just want to take 10 seconds, right, about the clip you just put, the comment you just put up about let's hope we don't have to show Trev this clip at the end of the season. Show it to me. I say it with tongue in cheek, but I'm positive about the Arsenal. You boys all know me. I know we've got we've got a load of dross over most areas of the park. But I'm positive. And that's the way
love Trev's positivity. Let's hope we don't have to show him this clip at the end of the season. If we don't come out of lockdown, all cannons blazing. There we go, Trev. You carry on.
Well, feel free to show it to me. But listen, what you just said about picking a side up front is interesting, because if he moves Saka up the field, right, that means he's got Saka, Martinelli, Pepe, Laka, Alba, and Ketia. How do we fit them all in, or who misses out, boys? It's a massive, massive task he's got on his hands. What happens? Because I think he needs to move Saka up the field, and I think he can't not play Saka. But he was playing Martinelli on the left, who was playing really, really well. You know? So how does everyone fit in, or who misses out?
I don't think you can drop Saka. I love Martinelli. I really do. I think Martinelli's been absolutely brilliant. But Martinelli was playing well in and out of the side. Saka's been playing well in it. So you can't drop Saka, in my opinion. If you want to play Tierney left back, go for it. But Saka needs to be pushed up that field on the left-hand side. And then Arteta's got to decide whether he wants to play Laka through the middle or Aubameyang through the middle. Now, it has to be Aubameyang for me, 100%, which means on the right, you either go with Nelson, Pepe, or Martinelli. But Martinelli on the right, a lot of people aren't too keen on him. They like him on the left-hand side. But that's a really good decision for Arteta to have to make. To have that competition, we haven't even mentioned Nketiah. So he's definitely got some players there that he can work with. I think like Lee said really early on, I think what worries me is I've given up with that defence. So the only thing I can get excited about watching Arsenal is what we're going to do going forward. And we have got some options there. I think our best front three is probably Aubameyang through the middle, with Saka on the left and Martinelli on the right. I think that's what I'd go with, because you've got exciting talent either side of an elite striker who scores 30 goals.
Is that not saying to Lacazette, see, you're out of here? Because Potentially it is. Yeah. And there's a lot of rumours about Lacazette being mentioning a swap deal with Partey. If that's the case, let's do it. Partey's the player we need, Laka isn't. So that's what we've got to make. Those decisions have got to be made. But I think if you were to say to me, what three do you want? I think Arteta's going to personally go with Pepe on the right, Aubameyang on the left, and Lacazette through the centre. That's what I think he'll do. I wouldn't do that, but I think that's the one he's going to go for. But I would have Saka on the left all day long because of how good he's been. Lee, how would you line up against these? And I suppose the most important area for us up front, we know we've got strong firepower. Defensively, we know we've got our weaknesses. Man City have got their weaknesses. If they got Laporte, they are a lot stronger. It's the midfield. What midfield would you two go with? Lee, you go first.
I'll probably go with again, a bit of a struggle, but Xhaka, Torreira, and Ceballos I will go for this game. If
would you not look at Willock or Maitland-Niles?
No, you've got to have a little bit of experience in there. A couple of defensive players in there. He won't go that way. I think Arteta will go with Ceballos, Xhaka, and Mesut Ozil. That's what I think that he would go with. But if it was me, I'd like to think that he would shore it up a little bit with Xhaka and Torreira. Listen, whoever he puts in there wouldn't bother me. You know what I mean? Like again, like the defence, this midfield needs an overhaul. Come the summer, we need to bring in new players. None of them are any good. None of them are good enough to do the job. And all of those midfield players, unlike Tierney, they've all been tried and tested and had their chance, as far as I'm concerned. There's not one there that I wouldn't think there. Willock, I think, is one for the future. I do really like what I see in Willock. But Willock's one at the moment, and where do you play him? You know what I mean? Where do you play him, and who are you going to leave out, you know? But I think
but he's that sort of role, isn't he? That's the sort of area he's in.
Yeah. And do you know what I'm going to say? I wouldn't be surprised. You know, let's take a gamble. Let's play. This is what I would play. My midfield would be Xhaka, Ceballos. Maybe not in this game because we're away from home, and then play Saka in that little hole. That's what I would like to see. Like, you know what I mean? Like something that he could do. You know, like I think he's got the potential to really run games. I think he's a real talent. I think you've got to fit him in the seam somewhere. That's why I think that, you know, when you look at him on the left back position, he's done well there with the combination with him and Martinelli. That's been our best sort of source, really. You know, two young kids down the left-hand side. When you look at the right side, where you've got £72 million player, the more productions come from the two teenagers. You know, that's not digging out Pepe. I'm just saying, like, you know, that's a compliment to the two youngsters, you know. So I think Arteta's got a real difficult job trying to get in Saka into this side. And when you think about it, really, he should walk in the side over other players. But it's getting combinations and getting the right balance. And this is why he's going to have to make some real tough decisions.
I think that's what's so hard about the balance of our midfield, isn't it? The balance of our midfield is just so unbalanced. It's unreal. And I think
shocking.
You know, it is shocking. And for me, you need athleticism. And Xhaka and Ozil do not provide that at all. So if you were to ask me what to do, I'd have Torreira for his tenacity and his little bite that he has in midfield. He's the only defensive midfielder we've got. And then alongside him, I'd have Matteo Guendouzi for his passion and his drive. And I'd have Dani Ceballos for his technique and his energy. That's what I'd do. I wouldn't have Xhaka over Guendouzi. No way. No way.
I don't think he'll change it up a great deal because they were doing fairly okay before the break. I think our best front three was Aubameyang on the left. The man was he went up a level or two in that position, made captain. I don't think he'll move him off of that position at the moment because he definitely, you know, he did go up levels. He will play Saka. I think he will play him at left back. Our midfield, I'm with Dan on this one. I can't stand Granit Xhaka. I can't tell you how I feel about him on air. Fergus knows. I can't tell you how I feel about him. There's a few other names, but we're going to get to them 4, maybe more at the end. But Torreira, Torreira for his tenacity because he's the only half defensive. He just lacks the physicality, but he actually sniffs out danger and he reads it quite well, the man, and he gets about Guendouzi for exactly what you said, and he'll go with Ozil because he's probably he is the most talented playmaker we've got, and he will go with him. I'd go with Ceballos. I'd go with him.
Talented.
He is, unfortunately, Mike. He's stupidly talented, but he's a lazy. Again, I can't share with you on air how he makes me feel, and it's not good.
I'd share, but Trev won't let me.
We'll chat after. But
Trev,
that's what I think he'll go with.
What do you think about probably the midfield? Again, I think that's the key to where the battle is going to be won. Maitland-Niles in this inter-season, who was out on a limb and been sold a few weeks ago, according to some of the tabloids, as he's performed quite well in some of the friendlies and in training. Would he get a look in your view?
No. Not yet. Not at the moment. Maitland-Niles has been mucked around too much by Arsenal. Really. And I, you know, what?
He's on point.
No, carry on.
Maitland-Niles has been mucked around a bit by Arsenal with the changes of position. I think it's set him back. I honestly think it's set the lad back and he wouldn't get in my side at the moment. What Lee Judge said, I ain't agreeing with him, but I agree with Lee completely. The most exciting thing about watching Arsenal last season was watching the development down the left when Saka and Martinelli played in the same side. It was special, boys. It was special. Two youngsters were really starting to gel, and I'm excited about that happening again. My midfield, Arsenal won't change until Ozil goes. Arsenal won't be a massively changed side until Ozil goes, or he's not getting in the side. I don't like speaking. You know me, I don't like running people down, but I don't want Ozil at Arsenal Football Club. I want him gone, and I want him gone for one reason. I want to see a new era start, right? I want to see that the weight of people keep mentioning this 300 grand a week. I want to see the weight of that gone from the club, and I want to see this bright light shine and see. You never know. Ozil going might make other players that we're not complimentary about at the moment play better. Who knows? But that's for me. Ozil goes. My starting midfield against City would be Torreira because I think can't argue with a word the boys have said. Tenacity, and he's a skillful lad as well. You know, and he's a defensive lad. I like Guendouzi. I liked the player Guendouzi was developing into because he didn't seem to be diving on the floor quite as much as he was earlier in the season. So I liked Guendouzi. And I'm not keen on him, but I can't see any other option from Xhaka, really. We haven't got any other options, So, yeah, that'll do for me. But Saka and Martinelli is the most exciting thing at our football club. I'm telling you, boys.
Reece Nelson, Reece Nelson as well. Okay. Don't nod your head, Mike. I'm telling you, the boy has got talent, yeah. But he seems to be playing with the handbrake on. I just want him to get the ball and go at the very first man that he sees in front of him. The boy has got talent to burn.
Right, score predictions. Who's going to go first?
Oh, I won't put my team out then. It's all right.
No, put your team out.
I was going to say something completely different. Completely different.
Go on, then.
Go on.
No, you see, my midfield would be Torreira. I'd have Ceballos next to him in the 4-2-3-1. I'd have Ceballos next to him, and I'd probably either put Martinelli in that hole. That guy, Martinelli, I think would be really skillful in that number 10 spot, and I don't think many people will keep up with him being there, because we know that's going to the formation that's going to be in is a 4-2-3-1. So that would be my 3 midfield, and I think that'd work really well. Get rid of Xhaka is an issue. Özil, get rid of him is another issue. There you go, we've solved it. Done. Well, we know what's going to happen. We're going to have Xhaka and Torreira in the middle, at the back of the midfield, and Özil in front of him. It's always going to be the same. And the front 3 is going to be Pepe, Lacazette, and Aubameyang.
That's what it'll do.
Score prediction, Scully?
Score prediction. Sorry, lads. Yeah. I think we're going to lose. I think it's going to be a 3-1 loss.
Shame on
Fred.
you.
Have 10-0 to the Arsenal.
See, someone else who agrees with me. Look,
No. 2 crap defences. 2 crap defences, but 2 decent forward lines. I'm going to go 2-2. 2-2. 2-2 to the Arsenal.
I agree.
Manchester City 2, Arsenal 0.
Potsy?
No. Heathen swine, you.
I am going to go Manchester City 2, Arsenal 1.
Mem?
Right, I'm going.
I'm with Trev. I'm with Trev. I think we're good enough to go up there and put. I think we're good enough to go up there and put 2-3 past them, so they can watch out next Wednesday night. I think. Yeah.
Oh, listen.
We will concede. We will concede, but we will score on Wednesday night at least a couple of goals.
Let's hope so, man.
So I'm going for a Desmond as well. So I'm going for a 2-2. So yeah,
I love your optimism.
Right.
Basically, you've all gone for you can't really say a loss. That's what you've just done there, guys.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
They didn't want to say a win, did they?
No, Lee, genuinely, I think
Lee,
because
you're with me, Lee. You're with us, Lee. You're with us. Don't worry, you're with us.
I genuinely think we can go and get a point up there at least because
you're Irish. Don't worry about
it. Brilliant.
Oh, dear.
Irish life.
just saying like that. Really.
Listen, no, I think because of this no crowds in the stadium, I think an away team are always up for it. It's the first game back, the Arteta factor, the Pep factor, the aging Man City squad, the agents hovering around trying to get rid of them and they want to go elsewhere for more money and so on. I think it's a good time to be playing City. If we played them when this game was meant to be played back in February and then again when it was meant to be played in March because of the League Cup final, we would have gotten spanked, absolutely spanked. But on this occasion, on this time, I think we can go and 2-2 is easy, and we could beat them. Unlikely, but we could beat them.
We'll go for a win then on your prediction.
No, I'll go 3-2 then. I don't mind. 3-2 to the Arsenal. There we go. 3-2. Up we are.
It's the Irish in him.
Irish in front. There you go. Look, hey, what can you say?
Great combo. Great combo.
We mentioned Dan mentioned Partey and the talk about a swap deal with Partey and Lacazette. From what I'm hearing, the Partey deal, no matter what you read in the paper, has never been mentioned within the club. It is totally not happening. Partey is not happening.
Surprise, rumours.
What?
I'm not interested.
Plenty
about
of-
rumours, Mike. One rumour that I am hearing that is a replacement for Sir Chips Keswick, who had left the club recently. We're going to get another stand man. We're going to get a lawyer, the lawyer who brokered the deal for Stan to buy the majority shareholding and get his 63% shares of Arsenal, with Usmanov having the other 31%, and blocked Usmanov every way he could to stop him getting any further into the club. A lawyer called Tim Lewis, who's worked closely with Stan and KSE, is apparently going to be appointed on the board. So,
So another
if that does
turd that knows nothing about football coming into the Arsenal board. Nice one.
basically, yeah. I would have preferred, if you're going to do something like that, Stan and Josh could have showed a nod to the Arsenal, a nod to the class of Arsenal. Have somebody like, they were talking about O'Leary. They were talking about lots of different...
Raul blocked that one.
Raul blocked it?
With O'Leary, yeah.
O'Leary was interviewed. O'Leary was interviewed recently as well in the paper. I read it yesterday morning, and he was very, very complimentary of everything that Arteta is doing about the club and the training and everything else. Thiago Silva, 36 years of age. He's been in PSG. We've been linked with him.
Is he coming to coach our defenders, Fergus? Is he coming to help coach our defenders?
Garbage.
No, but would any of you entertain having the guy?
No.
He would only. No, he'd only be coming for a big paycheck. I don't want another one of them. Do you?
No.
It's because he's Brazilian, like David Luiz was, and he's coming to the end and he needs the club. That's all it is. And he's 35 going on 36. He's finished. We do not want another one of them to join. We've already got 6 defenders that can't defend. We don't want another slow coach. We need somebody who's going to be a rock at the back. If it's going to be someone to partner William Saliba, then like an Upamecano, I'm excited. Thiago Silva does not excite me at all. It excites me even less than David Luiz did. And that didn't excite me at all.
It does sound like an Arsenal transfer, though, at the minute, doesn't it?
It does.
Yep.
It does. Fans.
I was going to say it's really crazy and mad how we went and spent £8 million on David Luiz last season. When I think did Palace get Gary Cahill for nothing?
Yep.
Yeah.
8 million, more like 25, isn't it altogether?
We all know the problems are upstairs, guys. Yeah, we all know this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. We've been saying it. Me and you've been saying it forever, mate.
But I'm hoping and praying, Trev, that Mikel's gonna grab hold of it. Yeah, I'm hoping and praying. That's what I'm hoping for.
That's the only way out, son. It's the only way out, son. Is that Arteta gets to say who he wants, and then people upstairs go and get who he wants, because the people they've been bringing in are dog's crap.
Yeah,
dog's
absolutely.
Crap, you know, we're robbed. We get robbed.
If they don't back him, we will lose him, because I think Lee's even mentioned. I don't think he'll be short of a few. I don't think he'll be short of takers if we don't back him properly. Yeah,
I honestly
agree.
I'm going to put my own neck on the line here. Like, you know, I think Partey will be an Arsenal player next season. I think we're desperate for somebody like that now. If he's available, which they are saying with the buyout clause, and if Arsenal are not going to prepare to go for that, then for me it tells you all you need to know. And I think Arsenal will make a statement in this summer.
We need a forward, really, because Aubameyang's getting on a bit. Lacazette crap.
That's what we get. But like, I'm sticking to my guns here. I think Arsenal will make a couple of really influential signings in the summer. Him being
we
one.
could have made an influential one. That Timo Werner was only 42.5 million. We could have made a statement there.
Brilliant business, brilliant. If it's going to happen, brilliant.
Well, does that show that Aubameyang's going to stay?
Well, why?
Well, that's what I'm saying.
He's getting on a bit. You know what I mean? He's not exactly what he was.
We should have jumped all over that deal. Look at Chelsea. What they're doing. They're 3 players, Chelsea.
Brilliant.
To really be solid team, and they've gone and done it.
Yeah.
They're going to go and do it. We're
God knows where
saying
they got the money from, but
we need 3 or 4, just like Chelsea. We're in the same position, need 3 or 4 players, and we're not going to do it. Well, that tells you all you need to know about the ambition of this club. Simple as that. It will tell us it all.
With the ambition of the club, where do you think we'll finish this league then this season?
This season?
And yeah.
6th, I think, is the best we can hope for this time around. I think that top 4 is done and dusted. I think, there's some good teams above us. You've got, unfortunately, with this lockdown, them down the road have strengthened. They were falling like a lead balloon. They were, but now with this lockdown, they've got all their players back. So they're in a good position. That's a very good point. Chelsea have sold Hazard and Morata. And that is a very, very good point. And that's why Arsenal should sell Aubameyang if he doesn't sign his contract to reinvest.
What really Chelsea makes me laugh there is Morata got sold for 60 million. He was absolute pants.
Exactly.
And we can't get rid of Xhaka for 20.
Right. So any advances on 6th then? Trev, we're going to win the league, aren't we?
I'd love to see us get top 4, Fergus. If we were to squeeze into the top 4, we would have had a cracking run into the season.
Yeah.
So my hopes. But having said that, as I said earlier, from a fan that goes to games that loves travelling, a Europa League spot will do me, boys. Because being selfish, it means I've got some great trips coming up next season. Some great away travels coming up, and so from a selfish perspective, top 8. My heart of hearts says 5th or 6th. I think if we have it after 5th or 6th.
I don't know. It's because of the break, because of everything we've discussed. It's kind of like a sort of clean slate to a degree. And with football, as we all know, opinions change so quickly in a matter of days, weeks, a couple of games, and we're going to have matches thick and fast, So I think it's hard to say, and if we get a bit of a roll on, who knows? Who knows?
If they're going to get top 4, Fergus, right, and realistically, if we're going to get top 4, right, we have got to go to Man City and win. Nothing, like when the best that we predicted here.
Got to win every game. Got to win every game, Lee, if you want to
win. No, you've gone 3-2. So we've got to go up to Man City, and we've got to go there and win. We've got to go to Tottenham and win. We've got to beat Liverpool at home. We've got to beat Leicester at home. We've got to go to Wolves and get a win. Tough, hard.
I think we can draw against Liverpool. I think we can beat Tottenham 2-1. I think, again, because of the home advantage is gone, we're going to be up for the game. I think the advantage is the away team currently at the minute. You can see that's been demonstrated in the German Bundesliga, that the home teams are only winning 13% of games. The away teams are winning more, and there's less draws. It just seems to be working that way. Okay, that was after 1 or 2 weeks. I'm sure it will change. I know on a WhatsApp group, Dan thinks where we are is where we'll finish at the minute, in 9th. Is that right, Dan?
No, I said 8th actually. I think we'll get ahead of Sheffield United and Everton, and that'll be it. Unfortunately, I go through those games, Ferguson. I just look at it. I think we might get a couple of points out of those, but I can't see us getting 3 points out of many of those. I've seen this team too many times, mate. If he was going to play some of the youngsters, I'd be a little bit more positive and think, do you know what? But he's not. He's going to play Xhaka and Özil and Kolasinac, and we're going to see these Mustafi at the back and Socrates and Luiz. So I think that when you're going to places like Liverpool and Tottenham and Wolves and even Southampton, I don't see us getting 3 points because I've seen this team let me down. I want to use this as a pre-season. Arteta gets a free ride whether we come 4th or 17th. And as far as I'm concerned, let's get into the summer and let's move on to next season and get rid of some of these clowns. I'm going to go for 8th. I think that Kane and Son being back are going to get Tottenham into 6th place. Wolves are too organised to come anywhere below 7th. And I think Man United will nick Chelsea to 4th. So that's my prediction.
I wouldn't want to forget Mike, because I don't want to move on when I ask him.
I'm not going to disagree with Dan there, to be honest with you. I'm feeling exactly the same way.
I think the best we can possibly hope for is 5th, but I think a lot of people are hanging a hat on 5th and thinking that we'll get Champions League by default because Man City are going to get this thing. But if we end up 5th, you can guarantee that Man City will get overturned and we'll end up in Europa League again. I agree, Europa League, and next season I intend on trying doing a couple of European away games at least. So Europa League are fascinating back and beyond places. So from that purpose, it would be interesting. But I'd rather be in the Champions League. Somebody put a comment in there behind closed doors football. And about behind closed doors football, when Lee, we had a chat on the phone the other week about when they're going to let us back into the stadium again and what that would affect you and your season ticket, whether you thought about, renewing or going back, or are you going to be done with it? When do you honestly think we'll be back in the stadium? And if we're not allowed back into the stadium till they're talking about January next year, how would that influence? I'll ask the three that go regularly. So, because I want to then do that question that we done. So, Trev, Lee, and Dan. Lee first. How do you think? When do you think we'll be back in, and how do you think it's going to affect what you do about Arsenal Football Club at the moment?
Well, I'm going to be honest. If they're back in January, if the fans are allowed back in January, then the season starts in January. That's as far as I'm concerned. I get that they've got to finish this season with no fans and get it done for the integrity of the league and everything that goes with it. You can't be sort of saying to teams, "Oh yeah, we think you're going to win this, or we give you a point and relegate them from that." So they're doing the right thing by going with with no fans out. But come the beginning of the season, if there's no fans in there, that's me done. Me done. There's no need to start the next season without fans. If they have to delay it, they have to delay it. I don't care about the European Championships in the summer and that. Let them do let them do that. Let them do that behind closed doors. Let's see if they do that behind. Will they heckers like? You know what I mean? Well, they won't do that. So why should they mess with my Premiership? You know what I mean? No, like if we can't have fans going in at the beginning of the season, then you do not play. It's as simple as that. And also, Trev? You're going to get a lot of fans that are not going to want to go. I'm telling you that now. Like that feel that
beginning of next season planned for, guys. Does anyone know when the beginning of next season's planned for? Is any dates penciled in yet?
No, not really. Trev.
Yeah, I agree with Lee. I totally agree with Lee. But as I've said before, and I'll say it again, television runs football now. Yeah. Television runs football. So we will see it. We will, we will see a season start. Sorry, Lee?
It tells you everything, doesn't it, about who they care about, what they care about.
Yeah.
The fans don't matter. Don't matter much anymore. So there will be a new season start, and I think it will be behind closed doors. And I think we won't be until next year. I agree with everything you've said. It's sad. You know my thoughts about football, television running football. I don't have to go over that again. Everyone's well aware how angry it makes me. I just can't wait to get back in the ground and watch a football match again. And, if we have to wait until January, so be it. But as I said right at the start, football without fans, watching it on the telly doesn't excite me. I'll watch the Arsenal and I'll watch nothing else. That's it. Dan,
that's what I do anyway.
The 90 the 90 minutes
back and one second. Do you see us back in the stadium this year? Will it influence what you do about your season ticket? And picking up on what Trev said, he says TV runs football, but TV can see now the importance of the fans to create that atmosphere, to create the game, and the importance, and we actually have an influence on the pitch.
TV can see the importance of it, and do you know who else will see the importance of it? And I hope it brings us closer to them, is the footballers themselves. They will miss us massively at these games, 100%. You speak to any ex-pro, you speak to anybody that plays football in front of fans, they will miss them when they're not there. 90 minutes of football is extremely important to me, but it's not as important as the 3 hours before and the 3 hours after it with my mates and my family. And if I can't do that, then unfortunately, it ain't football to me. This is pre-season, boys. I've tapped out. Let's see what happens. I won't be frustrated if we lose 4-0 against Man City. I won't be overjoyed if we win 4-0 against Man City. I'll be frustrated that I can't be there to celebrate it.
Okay. Right, I'll put a question to you guys at the start of the podcast. We've overran again, as always. I'll blame them. if you had to sell 4 players, if Arteta had to sell 4 players, who would you sell and why? I'm going to do one player at a time, and just like one, name the player, the reason why. Mike, you go first, mate. Who would you sell first?
Ozil,
Why?
because it's a shit C word. Nearly said it.
Fine,
I was that close. Because
Trev,
he's lazy,
who would you
he's
get?
awful, and yeah.
Who would you get rid of?
Mate,
Who are you asking?
Trev.
Go on, mate.
Definitely Ozil, 100% Ozil, because I think the day Ozil leaves the club is the start of a new dawn for Arsenal. There's a weight lifted, and it's the start of a new era the day Ozil leaves the club. He's got to be first out for me.
Mem?
What, first out? Yeah, Xhaka. Just don't rate him. I just don't rate the man. I don't like the way he carried. You don't go around telling people I'm a governor, I'm the leader. Yeah, that's bestowed upon you, and I just don't like the way I just don't like the way he carries himself, and I don't rate him as a footballer.
Lee?
Torreira.
Why?
Because we can get good money for him.
Yeah, and he doesn't want to be here either, does he? He's homesick now for Italy,
Get good money
Argentina.
for him and replace him with better.
Dan?
This is interesting because do we go with who we want out the club because they're poison, or do we try and look at it like Lee has and look at it tactically and think, well, they're going anyway in 2021. Do we try and get some money and replace him? But I can't stand the guys so much that I'm going to go with the boys and go with Mesut Ozil because I want these 4 players out of the club ASAP. So Mesut Ozil for me because he's on a ridiculous amount of money, 18 million he's taken out of the club every single year to do the very bare minimum. And I don't want that attitude in this future Arsenal team. So it would be Mesut Ozil for me, number 1 gone.
Yeah, number 1 for me would be Xhaka. Crystal Palace at home. You don't do that. You don't chuck up the armband and this shirt. You don't disrespect the club in that way. Ben has mentioned Kolasinac. Kolasiniak's out of contract anyway, so I'd pick somebody else, Ben, in the comments than Kolasinac. Number 2, Mike. Let's go with number 2.
Mustafi.
And I don't even need to say a reason. You don't need to say a reason because I know you'll use
Mustafi.
the word this time.
Done. There, I've
Lee,
said it.
go to you for your second one, mate. Lee?
I have gone for my second one, Lacazette.
Why?
Good money.
For the same, get some good money into him, chop him over with Partey. That's what I would do. Lacazette. No,
can't hear you, mate.
You're on mute, Trev.
Should I turn my mic on? Should I turn the microphone on?
Drop the mic.
I'll get rid of Callum Chambers because I think he's never going to be quite good enough on his surplus to requirements.
Okay. Dan?
I'm with Scunny. Let's get rid of this bad smell. Shkodran Mustafi. Although he's quite a good-looking chap. He looks a little bit like me, doesn't he? So I'd say he's a good-looking chap. But no, he's got to go, mate. 100%. Shkodran is gone. Don't take those glasses off, Lee. You can see perfectly with them, mate. Yeah, Ozil and Mustafi are my first 2.
Mem?
My second, can you hear me? Yeah? Hello? Yeah, my second is Ozil, just for an absolute piss waste of talent, in my opinion.
I'd probably go Ozil as well, simply because I don't think he puts enough effort in. I think he's an amazing, talented player, but he's not an Arsenal player, unfortunately. I don't know if it's him or the player around have him gone. Right, let's come back to Dan, who's player number 3.
Granit Xhaka. I need athleticism in my midfield, and Granit Xhaka needs to get the hell out of this football club. Even if it's for 20 million to Hertha Berlin, see you later, Granit Xhaka. That's my third one.
Mike?
Lacazette. He's lazy. And I think if we can get, like Lee said, I think if we could have had a swap deal, if the rumours were true and the swap deal for Partey, I would have taken that all day long. But I just think he's a lazy striker. I just don't think he's good enough. He's not tenacious enough in front of goal. He's not worth it.
Mem?
Kolasinac. I know he's out of contract, but yeah, he can't get out of my club quick enough. It'd be great in a street fight, but not for me my football club. No.
Trev?
Yeah, my third one on my list is Xhaka, and for the reasons you boys have already said. Firstly, you don't do that with the captain's armbands at the Arsenal. The Arsenal. You don't throw the captain's armband on the floor under any circumstances. And secondly, he ain't as good as he thinks he is, Xhaka.
No.
And that's the biggest problem with footballers when they personally think they're better than they are. And that's his problem. And I don't hate him, but if I had to get rid of him, it wouldn't ruin my day. So off you trot. See you later, mate.
My third one would be Slippy. Mustafi spends more time on his arse than he does on his feet. I thought he would be a great player to start off first 8 to 10 games, but he's gone nowhere but downhill since. Right, Mike, come back to you for your final player.
Oh, you ain't had my third one yet.
I'll just check and see if you're listening.
It's doing the scully.
Go on in.
Mustafi.
Why is that then?
Right?
Why?
Not good enough. Just not good enough. We need to improve in that area. And I would so Mustafi would be number 3.
Okay.
Thanks for letting me contribute.
You're welcome. Mwah, mwah. Mike.
Are you sure it's my turn?
Yeah.
I'm going to say... I was going to say Xhaka, but after hearing Trev when he said Chambers, I'm going to go Rob Holding for the same reason why he said Chambers, because I just don't think he's good enough. I just think he's... I think he's ready to go. I just don't think he's going to make it.
One of them's got to. One of them's probably got to. I do agree. Lee, go on, give us your fourth one because I don't want to forget you again.
That's all right. My fourth one is Granit Xhaka. For the same reasons.
And the reason?
Same as Mustafi. It's just that we need to upgrade. We need to upgrade. And we can get a little bit of money for him. And I just think that, we need to upgrade. We need to upgrade it defensively. And we need to upgrade in the midfield. And this would give us the funds as well to upgrade. So as much as I'd be disappointed in not sitting next to me, I must admit, but at the end of the day, I'll be gutted about that. But it is Granite for me. Sorry, Granite.
No, you're not.
I hope you're not listening.
Dad, who's your fourth one?
I think it'd be easier to tell us what 4 we'd like to keep and get rid of the rest. I think at this rate. I will go with, I know you're saying he's out of contract, but so's Ozil and Mustafi. I would get rid of Kebab Meathead because he is dog shit. I can't stand Kolasinac. He is dreadful. This player is awful fullback. Can't cross, can't defend, can't do anything apart from be a doorman. Go be a doorman, please. Get out of my club. They're my 4. Ozil, Xhaka, Mustafi, and Kolasinac.
Probably get mistaken with Mustafi.
Trev, your fourth and final nominee.
Right, I'm going to put the cat amongst the pigeons with me fourth one. David Luiz. I don't want him there anymore. I think he's just come to rob a living at the last minute and he's too inconsistent. He has some blinding games, but he has too many crap games. And he makes the odd mistake. And I don't think David Luiz is where we want to start building what is our rubbish defence. Get him gone and let's start. Kolasinac, I hate to say it, but Kolasinac gone as well. But Luiz for me, get a couple of quid from him off your trip.
You're probably. I was going to say Gallas, but he's already gone, isn't he?
Jesus Christ! What year do you think this is?
I'd like to get rid of him again, Dan. Mike, I really would.
Have I missed like 10 years?
Yeah, no, I was only making a joke, mate. Probably Mustafi, but I can't argue with David Luiz either. Yeah, we've got too many of these on this list. Too many.
I've got new ones out to the list, and a lot of you might. I don't know whether you agree with me. I'd get rid of Hector Bellerin.
You can't stand him, though, Fergus, can you?
No, listen, the guy has lost his pace since his last injury. He can't cross a ball. He can't cross himself in church. He's now substandard. Honestly, you could get some good money for him. I do like his passion. I do like his leadership qualities around the club. I think he is captain material, but I don't think he's good enough for Arsenal. So I would get rid of Hector Bellerin. So there we go. We've got about 3.
If you were to look at the four players that we could get some money for, if you were going to do this like that, Kolasinac you could probably get 10 to 15 million for. Bellerin you could get 30 million for. I think Torreira you could get 35 million for, and Lacazette you could get 50 million for. If you were going to do that, and you were going to actually want to make some money and allow these players in 2021 to go, I wouldn't be so disappointed by that. As long as these players go by 2021, I don't actually care if we're going to make some money out of those players, as long as they're replaced. If you're going to replace Torreira with Partey, great. If you're going to replace the likes of Lacazette or Bellerin with players that are upgrades on them, great stuff. I'd be more disappointed if we sold Saka and Martinelli than I would Ozil and Xhaka, put it that way.
This is Arsenal we're talking
well
about.
Said, Danny boy. Well said, Dan. Well said, Dan. Listen, I just want to say something here, Fergus. I've chosen 4 players because you made me choose 4 players. I hope them 4 players come out and prove us all wrong and have a blinding end to the season. I can't see it happening. And what young Dan just said, right, is exactly right. Yeah. These older players have won us nothing over the last few years. Won us nothing. So we must have the youngsters, because the youngsters are the future. The youngsters are the winners. So Dan's exactly right. Exactly right. Right. So we're going to finish 4th and win the FA Cup, and we're away.
Boys, you have been great company again, and we've overran again. I don't know how I'm the hour-long format as I tried to do, but I think we put just too much on this list. But we got through everything. Thank you, everybody, for your comments. I've enjoyed seeing what you've been saying. Mike, thanks for being the hostess with the mostest in the background and operating all the questions and stuff, freeing me up a bit of space. Mem, Lee, Dan, Trev, thank you for your company as well. You have been watching Guns and Yellow Ribbons, or even listening to Guns and Yellow Ribbons, an Arsenal podcast by Arsenal fans for Arsenal fans. I hope you've enjoyed the show. If you have, if you're on YouTube, remember, click the little bell and you get a reminder. If you're on our Facebook page, just like us and share us. Thanks very much. Only one last thing to say. Up the arse.
Cheers.
Up the arse. Cheers, boys. Enjoyed that.
Cheers,
Up
guys.
You Gunners.
That was good.